You're listening to the Oz TV podcast, only on the Oz Network.
Hi, I'm Billy Garcia from Survivor Cook Islands, and welcome once again to the Survivor Ghost Island recap here on the Oz Network. And this week, I'm joined by one of my favorite friends here from Survivor Micronesia and Caramoan, Erik Reichenbach. How you doing, brother?
Good to see you, Billy.
Always great to see you, brother. It's always great to see you. Oh, man. So how are you liking Ghost Island so far?
It's surprisingly entertaining. I thought it was going to be too many twists, like too many weird things that just kind of mix it up. But it's surprisingly good, and I think that has there's a lot to be said about the cast. I think the cast is pretty good. So I think that's where that's coming from. Some of the twists are a little far-fetched, but that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, so, I really agree with you on the cast. To me, that would have made or break the season, and I think it's what's making this season.
Yeah, it's funny too though, because I think my mom commented. She said, "They're all so young. Why are they all so young?"
I hear you. Yeah, they're. I guess there are a lot of young, especially with guys like Michael who are 18 years old, but he doesn't act it. He doesn't. I was concerned that maybe that he was gonna not be so involved because he would have been camera shy from being so young, but he's just the opposite.
Yeah, he seems fine. He seems to be in his element there. Dog's causing trouble. Sorry.
No problem. Cute dog.
Somewhere around here.
All right. So we're getting into the episode here. After Tribal Council, Libby voiced her concern about receiving votes. I guess it's kind of natural.
Yeah.
And so, I guess she thought she was flying under the radar, and she found out, over the course of a few Tribal Councils now, that she's anything but.
Right. I mean, it's weird with her because I thought that she was kind of like a Parvati type of character. Kind of like the, like a Black Widow, like more strategy, like a pretty face with strategy. But how she reacted that last episode was really surprising. I thought she was going to take a more aggressive line and maybe just try and save herself in some other way. It looks like she didn't try as hard as she could have. Maybe she could have been more aggressive, but then again, I don't know. I mean, I take everything with a grain of salt just because I know there's a little bit of editing going on.
Of course, yeah. I totally agree. So at camp, Wendell told Laurel about the idol, and in my opinion, it kind of backfired a little bit. It didn't have the reaction I think he was going for. Yeah,
it's like keeping a secret. Like if you're really close with somebody, but you don't tell them something huge for a while, the longer you wait, the worse it is. I think it worked out for him in that he didn't get voted off last time. Like she didn't turn on him. But if he would have waited any longer to tell her that, it would have been even worse, I think.
I see. I see it your way. But yeah, it totally did not work in the way that he intended.
Right.
So the reward challenge happens, and the teams get divided. We did the old schoolyard pick. We never get to see the schoolyard pick actually play out anymore.
I know they don't really. It's like an afterthought now. It's kind of like the intro. Like they just cut the intro sometimes.
Yeah. We haven't had an intro in a while. Good point.
Or it's like what is it called when they see everybody? It's like the walk at the end where before the final immunity challenge.
Oh, right. The fallen heroes, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. They cut that part out.
Yeah. That's too bad. But anyways, we get the old race across a floating balance beam and the whole
Hate that thing. So stupid.
So they get these sandbags and they have to use a slingshot to knock over these I don't know, these boards, whatever, these targets.
It's like foam core things, yeah.
Yeah. So what's your take on the challenge? Was it a good challenge, a bad challenge?
It was really simple. I think they edited out a lot of people firing. Just because that's really tough to get accurate with one of those slingshots. I think Wendell did great. They made it look like he hit every one on his first try, and some he did. I don't think he got it on his first try. He might have. I don't think anybody did. I think a lot of it was cut in terms of time, but still, it was a pretty simple challenge. It was run up, and it was a very physical challenge.
Yeah. With me, it felt like because of the rule that once you hit a target, you had to run back and somebody else had to shoot. It's like just when you started to figure it out, you're off the challenge and somebody else has to go.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's no time to. There was like a learning curve, but it was like if you didn't get it within 2 tries, you're starting to hurt your team, or people are starting to like judge you for taking too much time.
Yeah. So both teams employed the same strategy. You miss a couple times, you run back and give somebody else a try. And in the end, the team of Angela, Chelsea, Donathan, Laurel, Libby, and Wendell won the reward of basically a Mexican fiesta. I don't know what else you want to call it. A Taco Wednesday, because it's on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I don't know. As a Hispanic, I was kind of had mixed feelings about this. I was like, if I was on that reward, I'd be like,
Yeah. That when we saw that they got what they got, like the amount of guacamole they got was amazing. Because whenever I request guacamole, they never give you it. They give you like this, like you pay like $2 or $1 for like a little bit of guacamole, and they had like 2 or 3 pounds of it. I was amazed. I was like, that was a pretty good reward for me back at home even.
Yeah, it felt like with all that guacamole, like if you kind of lost it, you could have basically put yourself out of commission with the whole bathroom situation. Yeah,
just on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So while at the reward, Libby once again brings up this whole thing about her receiving votes. I thought that she made it worse for herself. What do you think?
She shouldn't have said anything. Yeah, I really don't think she tried. It's clear she was nervous about it, so she wasn't able to keep. It looked like she wasn't able to keep her emotions in check.
Yeah.
In terms of unless you're doing strategy, don't say anything, because you can't be that vulnerable with these people, especially when it's a very strategic game. Like being that vulnerable, you're just gonna cause more trouble, like more problems.
Yeah, she had already brought it up, and I felt like it was already addressed, and here she is bringing it up again.
Yeah, it was not worthwhile to do that. I think, she had an interview where she said that too. Like one of the confessionals, she said, "I have to do something. I have to play some strategy." I think too that she got a little bit of pressure from producers to saying they voted for you. You got to do something, or you're out of here. So I think she felt some pressure from that side too.
You know what? That's a good point.
She may have. Yeah, we don't know, but it's all speculation.
Right. No, but that's a good observation actually. So when they get back at camp, Michael decides he wants to talk to Angela to try to convince her to the blindside Wendell, and boy, did that backfire on poor Michael. Angela, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, after all these episodes, what is it, 7-something episodes of being super quiet and just here and there voicing that she didn't like being left out of certain decision making, all of a sudden she goes gung-ho on strategy.
Right.
And uses that little nugget that she got from Michael to totally try to spin the whole tribe against him.
Throw him under the bus, yeah.
Yeah.
That happens a lot, too. You'll see that where it's you reach out to somebody or you just talk to somebody about something and it gets blown up. And it's like this... You shouldn't talk that openly to people that you don't trust completely, I guess. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, no, he I guess he was looking for numbers, but that totally. He
was reaching out for somebody, I think, like you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a reach, and it backfired on him.
Yeah,
that's too bad because I really like Michael. So the immunity challenge happens, and we get a classic immunity challenge. They've been building this one up all week in the commercials. The whole they brought back the whole eating the weird stuff challenge. This is the challenge that created a whole genre of reality competition with like Fear Factor and
True.
Yeah. So it was great to see it back home where it was first born. What was your take on
that?
Yeah, I felt like they with the exception of the giant slug, they kind of went easy on him.
I think so too. Because fish eyes, I mean, I don't know if you were there when they fished on Cook Islands or not, but I've had fish eyes before. They're not terrible. They're just weird. It's just kind of weird. Did you end up having, what did you eat on Cook Islands in terms of weird stuff? Did you get any of that?
Yeah, the fish that we got, which was mainly from Ozzy, was so thin, razor thin, that if you didn't eat the whole fish, you didn't eat anything.
Yeah. That's what I did. Like Micronesia, I remember we ate the whole fish. We ate literally every piece of the fish, and it was gross, but you're starving, so it was easy.
Yeah. With me, it wasn't even so much that it was gross. It's just like it felt like, my meal was the equivalent of one chicken McNugget. Like that was my whole meal.
Yeah. So like fish eyes, totally. Like I was like, fish eyes, like they're kind of weird, but I mean they were weird enough that Wendell didn't even touch them.
I
don't know if you saw that. He didn't even touch them. He was like, no.
Yeah. His reaction made me go, man, come on. I thought for sure that he was like getting the winner's edit right up until that moment. Then I was like, wah, wah, wah.
Couldn't do it. Some people have like, it's like some people have some strengths, some people have some weaknesses. Like he killed it in the first challenge, and then he just couldn't even compete in this one. So.
Yeah. The fish eyes, I would have just swallowed it whole.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I wouldn't even try to chew it.
So the grubs. There was grubs next, right?
Yes, I believe. Actually, wasn't it raw? No. Yeah, you're right. Grubs.
I think it was grubs.
Yeah. One of them bit the head off, and then ate it that way.
Yeah, those grubs. So I had grubs on Caramoan.
Oh.
I was in the first round where they had grubs. And they're really not that bad. They're just really gritty. It tasted like, I'm trying to think of what it tasted. It didn't really taste like anything, but it had it was like almost like a sandy, like, I don't know. It's like a sandy vegetarian sausage, I guess you could say. It was real weird. And I just sat there like chewing it. And before I knew it, the challenge was over. I'm still chewing it. And I'm like, this is really chewy. It was just very, very chewy, really gritty. But
oh man,
I don't know. It wasn't that bad. It just crawls around like it's alive. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, to me the worst of all the foods was actually the big sea slug, the really fat sea slug, just because of how big it is.
Yeah, that looked savage. That just was. And it obviously tasted bad. You could see, I think one of them was going to throw up.
Yeah. And to my surprise, Angela was doing a whole dance. I don't know if it was to psych herself up or to psych out her competition. Or I don't know. Maybe both. I don't know.
Tyson on Twitter said something about Angela's really aggressive with her tongue or something really fun. That was bizarre. That's so strange.
Oh man! But she danced her way to victory. It came down to her and Michael of all people.
Weird.
You couldn't have scripted any better. So and it wasn't that Michael couldn't handle it; she was just faster.
Yeah, she was crazy. It's weird though because in Caramoan in Caramoan they had similar like you make it to the next round, you make it to the next round. The final round in Caramoan I think was Balut. And I'm not a very good Survivor fan if I don't know this because it was the season I was on. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Malcolm versus Cochran in the finals. It took place. It was so fast. They just like done. That's how fast it was. So I don't know if she would do as well on a different season. But yeah, Cochran versus Malcolm was crazy. Like they were. I don't know. They've been training. I don't know. They've been training, eating terrible things very fast. I don't know.
Yeah, I have pictures of like Denise in China dancing in my head during this challenge. Like they had it rough. There were seasons where they had like things like cow brains and some other stuff, like really, really weird stuff. This season was I don't know. I felt like it was mild.
I thought it was mild too. I did not know what the last thing was. They said it was a specialty in Fiji. What was it called? Mother of Pearl or something?
Yeah, Mother of Pearl. Yeah, I didn't know what it was. Was it just like raw clam or something? I don't know.
I'm gonna Google it right now. This mouse works. Let's see.
Yeah, because what they said when they called it, like it's a delicacy in Fiji. Right away, I'm like, oh, so they eat this all the time. People eat this all the time. It can't be that bad.
I know. Mother of Pearl food. Sophisticated tiki cocktails. Nope, that's a cocktail bar. Let's see here. What the Mother of Pearl is. It's a food item introduced in the show's 36th season.
So what does this mean? They made it up?
If you're wondering, so it says, if you're wondering what Mother of Pearl is, we have an answer for you. According to Wikipedia, the Spruce Crafts, which is a website, this is a common name for an iridescent nacre coating, a blend of minerals that are secreted from oysters and other mollusks and deposited inside their shells. It's material that's usually used to make jewelry, but sometimes you can eat it. Huh.
So basically it's clam crap. Like the clam took a dump and they had to eat it.
Or like it's like a shell kind of. It's really weird. It sounds weird.
Okay.
When they said that, I was like, what is that? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. I would think, like, they would have to explain what it is just to gross them out a little bit, make it hard for them, but
they could have just said cow brain. That would have been easier.
Yeah, I would have liked that better. So Angela wins immunity, and she goes into motion at the at camp to try to get them to split votes between Libby and Michael. Meanwhile, Michael is trying to get old Malolo to vote out Wendell.
Right.
So it's essentially was, the way I took it, it was coming down to almost like a head-to-head between Angela and Michael, even though Angela was not in the line of fire.
Right. Yeah, it kind of seemed that way. Yeah. I was surprised. I think it was kind of weird how Libby everybody kept telling her you're safe, and she didn't do anything. I was really shocked that she didn't do anything.
Yeah, it could have been just a case where she believed that the old Malolo were reformed and she totally bought into it.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, good. A good lie will make someone very inactive.
Yep. I agree with that.
So,
anyway.
Yeah, but as you said, at Tribal, it did not work out that way. Fortunately for Michael, he did play his hidden immunity idol. I don't think anybody was aware that he had one.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And that was good on him not to tell anybody.
So the splitting of the vote worked in that it didn't backfire for Navini, and Libby went out. Yeah, she kind of went out on a whimper, not really not really guns a-blazing.
Yeah, and I was surprised too, just because I know a couple episodes before they kind of had this hype going for her, like she's a player, she's strategic, she's a player. I think she got somebody out. I'm trying to remember her name. I want to say her name was Morgan. There's somebody early in the game that she got out that she kind of blindsided. So maybe she just ran out of energy. I don't know. Maybe she got tired out. I don't know. But I thought that was surprising. Yeah.
The whole buildup was Dominic had built her up to be the next Poverty, and it did. She definitely didn't play that game. Yeah,
that's what I saw too. I'm liking how Dominic is playing, because I thought he was my pick to go early just because of how aggressive he is, how he seemed kind of like a Tony kind of character, like a brash guy. But he seems to be able to like rein in his emotions and rein in his ego enough that people aren't like, get that guy out.
Yeah, he was saying, I think it was in this episode where he was bringing his ego down and bringing himself down a couple notches.
Yeah.
So I think he's got a good head on his shoulder. My preseason pick was Angela, just based on bios. This is my preseason pick. And so this is the first hint of her looking like anything remotely close to a winner. So I was kind of worried that I was gonna look like a total ass, like picking someone who's invisible in the edit.
She might make it to the end. I could see her in the finals. I could see her in, like, sitting next to like a Wendell, or sitting next to even like Kellen, like somebody else who just kind of drifts towards the end too. Not to say maybe Kellen's drifting. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of her.
Yeah, she's
kind of her.
Yeah. One thing worth mentioning, I kind of skipped over, was at the reward. They sent Jenna to Ghost Island, and just the theme of the season, we've had a lot of nothing in Ghost Island.
I know. I'm a little surprised by that. I would think they would. I think Dalton Ross brought up something interesting on Twitter. He said it should be based on skill. Maybe we should have, like, so when you get there, instead of like at random, you have to open an urn to see if you play. Maybe you have to play some kind of game of skill right away to see if you get a clue or something. Like, the fact that it's like random kind of doesn't seem very fair in a lot of ways. I don't know.
No, I agree, and I also think that just that you go there, there's no game for you. Like, that to me is very lame. So I totally agree. I would like to see them play a game. And if they're not gonna play a game, then at least have a punishment.
Something.
Like, you go there and they punish you in some sort of way, and you have to deal with the punishment. And if you can survive the punishment, then you'll get some reward. If you can't survive the punishment and you tap out, you get nothing.
Right. To me, I think it's like there's either tons of drama or there's no drama at all.
Yeah.
So, like, why not make some positive and negative drama? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So, all right. So let's rate this episode, where we either buy it, rent it, or bin it. Buy it, you think it's great. Rent it, you're happy you saw it once, but that's enough for you. Bin it. This was not one of the better episodes.
For me, it would be a rent it.
Okay.
I would have bought the last episode.
Yeah.
That one was pretty amazing, where Chris left. This one, just rent it. It was kind of like, if Wendell would have gone home this episode, I would have said buy it, because that would have been an epic blindside, just out of left field for Wendell to go home. I would not have predicted that, but seeing how it played out, where Michael played his idol and then Libby went home, which was kind of hinted at already.
Right.
It wasn't, rent it. I wouldn't outright bin it though.
Yeah, I'm with you with rented. I think they did a little too much foreshadowing with Libby, to where she became the obvious next boot by the time she was at the reward. So, I would have loved to have seen a Wendell blindside. I would have loved to have seen, if let's say they went after Wendell and Michael played his idol, they both played each other's idol, what would have happened next? Crazy. All that would have been great.
Yeah. Leading up to the final, I was like, oh my God, Wendell could go home with a blindside.
With your idol in his pocket.
Yeah, with mine. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, I really like Wendell. I like him. I want to see him win. So part of me was like, no, I hope that doesn't happen. And then I stopped myself and I was like, wait a minute, this is Survivor. Like, everyone kind of gets screwed over anyways. Like, that would be a pretty entertaining episode. So part of me was like, don't do that. And then part of me was like, wait a minute, that would be awesome. That would, like, flip everything on its head.
I'm with you on that.
Keep them around, yes.
Yeah. So, all right. So we got some viewer listener questions here.
Okay.
We've got, the first up is Paul Dutch, and he says that he's a Dawn supporter of our Game of Fans versus Favorites, and after seeing the season, did you or anyone think she deserved to at least get the runner-up prize and the title with at least 1 or 2 votes? What do you think?
So Dawn had a hard time out there,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of hatred for her from the jury, and it was because of the way that Dawn played. There was like this blend of friendship and strategy, and so people didn't know, is she genuinely my friend or is she playing me like in a game? And because that was not clear cut, everybody's feelings were hurt. Like everybody was like, "Oh, she's being fake to me. She really doesn't want to be my friend." So that just like poisoned her game.
Wow.
Like from like the halfway point, that poisoned her game. Even like when I went out with the medical stuff, I was not blindsided by Dawn. So personally, I didn't have any hatred towards Dawn. But hearing, Brenda talk about it, hearing Malcolm talk about it, hearing Andrea talk about it, hearing Michael Snow, Reynolds, everybody talking about Dawn and how she acted, it was clear she kind of ruined her own game.
Wow.
Which it was all social too. Like her strategy was pretty good, I thought, honestly. Like she had it worked out with Cochran, which was a good choice. And then Sherry just kind of hung out.
Right.
So Dawn should get credit for her strategy. Like she did really well in that aspect, but her social game was kind of a mess.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge in Survivor. That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, so Latifah wants to know, if your tribe had lost the first challenge in Micronesia, who would have gone home first?
So probably Chet. Probably Chet or Kathy. Kathy had immunity though. I think she had won like a little mini idol on the very first day. So Kathy wouldn't, but I think Chet would have gone home, and it was because of the keep us strong, keep us whatever. And Joel at that point did not hate Mikey B. And because Joel, I don't know if you remember my season, but there's this guy named Joel.
The truck, the fireman.
People call him Truck, right? Because he's huge. He's just like a huge guy. He started to get suspicious and paranoid of Mikey B and Mary. Mary, famous for being named Who. Everybody says, who's Mary? And he got really paranoid of those two after maybe like 3 or 4 days. So before that, it was completely Chet. Like 100% it would have been Chet. So gone.
I remember Jonathan really having it in for Chet. For his duration. So Ray wants to know, what was your reaction to seeing your immunity necklace on Ghost Island being shown this season, and the whole clip and all that?
It was entertaining. It was really funny to see. I'm really glad Wendell found it, just because I hope it does some good for him. If not, obviously it's cursed. It continues. I was so surprised that they just buried it. Like this giant necklace they buried. Like that thing is so. How are you going to sneak that anywhere? It's like sneaking around like a rhinoceros. Like you're not going to.
Yeah, this season they've had some big ones because the James Clement China Idol was also out there.
Right.
So
like huge thing. Like I could see them like bury like a Chevy, like a Trailblazer, like a car. And they're like, this is the cursed car from the car curse. It's now a hidden immunity idol. It's like, how are you going to hide that car?
Yeah, they should bury Candace for my twist.
Just put her out.
Just put her out there. Put her in the bushes. All right. So Miranda wants to know, what is the one challenge you most wished you would have competed in on during any season of Survivor? Like
any challenge?
Any challenge. The one you wish you would have competed in.
Any of the big maze ones, like the giant obstacle course, like Final Four ones. Those are really cool. They're just really awesome, and it's like they made it for you. Like you've been on challenges, so like they're awesome. Like they're just cool. So I mean, just like the massive like Final Four maze ones, that would have been just really fun to do.
Wow, they haven't done one of those in a while. They do need to bring that back.
Yeah.
All right, so Ruth Marie wants to, well, first of all, she has a question. If you were sent to, this is her game, I'm sorry. She plays this game every week where, you remember the old Cochrane Exile Island Twist with Debbie.
Sweet.
She has her own version of this, and she wants to see which one you would choose of all the advantages.
Okay.
Number 1 is the vote tripler, which is you get to triple your vote at one tribal council.
Okay.
The spy bunker, which allows you to hang out in a secret bunker underneath the shelter for like 30 minutes to eavesdrop.
Okay.
The vote reveal, where you find out what everybody voted for after a tribal council, but you're the only one that finds out.
Okay.
And the mutiny idol, which is someone gets voted out, and you have a chance to save them, but they go to the other tribe.
Vote tripler. Only because I wouldn't see the immediate benefit to the other ones. Advantages put a target on you, I think. So a lot of them are cursed in a way. So anything that you can do that's like an immediate and then it's over, I would rather do something like that. Yeah, vote tripler.
Okay, everybody but Brian this season has said vote tripler. Brian Corrigan said the mutiny idol.
Oh, no way. That's like social suicide. There's no way. No way I would do that.
All right. So Sasha Schmidt, one of my favorite names from all our viewers. She also plays this game of kiss, slap, hug, run away, or lunch date with. And we're going to name some players that she said here. Kiss, slap, hug, run away, or lunch date.
Slap, hug. Okay.
All right. First up is Corinne.
Corinne. I would hug Corinne. Because not enough people... Corinne's great, but I would hug her. She's great.
Oh, all right.
Hilarious.
Dawn.
Dawn. What were they? Hug, kiss, slap.
Run away, or lunch date.
I would do a lunch date because she has some pretty interesting stories. Just, yeah, that'd be fine. I really don't have anything personal against Dawn. I think she got some issues with her game.
Fair enough. So Natalie Bolton.
I would hug Natalie Bolton. She's great. She's really fun.
All right.
She seemed really terrible when they edited her to do, flossing with somebody's jugular vein or something.
Yeah.
But no, she's great. She's really funny, and yeah, I really do think that she's a really nice person, like compared to what. And she's gotten a lot of hate from people in terms of the editing. People tell her she's like, "Oh, you're terrible, you're awful. Why did you do that?" and all this other stuff. But she's fine.
I remember meeting her a couple of times at events. She seems really cool.
Yeah.
All right, this is a guy that we both have some history with, Ozzy.
I'd probably, in all honesty, I would walk away or run away from Ozzy. I mean, the only reason is he's let a lot of things go to his head over time. I don't know what your experience is with him post Cook Islands. But post Micronesia, like he's just kind of gone off on his own, and I realize he treats fans a certain way that I just am not like good with. Like I'm not okay with it.
I hear you. I think our experiences are similar.
Yeah, like if you think you're bigger than Survivor, I don't like that it's kind of where he got his fame from, but at times he seems like he's bigger than it at the same time.
Right.
Which, I don't know if he even is aware that he comes off like that sometimes.
Yeah, Well, what are you gonna do? All right, so a couple of people from this season. Donathan.
I want to hug Donathan. He was hilarious.
Yeah.
I like that he kind of reminds me of how my first time was in Micronesia, with just being in a new place with like a new experience, like puppy dog new to the world. So yeah, I love him. He's great.
Laurel.
Oh my gosh, I don't know who that is.
That's from this season. We can skip her.
Was she voted out early?
No, she's actually was the one that Wendell told about the idol to, and she was like, yeah.
I didn't know that was her name. Oh yeah, she's great. I guess I'd put that in the hug category.
All right, last one, Suri.
I'd give Suri a kiss.
Aww.
Suri's great. She's awesome. She's not from this season, but
Right.
she's awesome.
Her,
Someone asked me that, I think on Reddit, on Survivor Reddit, they said, who would you take to the finals in Micronesia if you ended up going there? Like, say I hadn't given up immunity,
right.
or they hadn't given me out. Who would you take with you, Natalie or Suri? And I probably would have ended up taking Suri to the finals.
Nice.
Because I did like Natalie and Suri, but Suri could probably convince me into doing anything. Like, she's really good.
Yeah,
she probably could convince me to take her there. So
probably the best player to never win.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Melinda Shorty, another one of the great names here. She wants to know when was the last time you saw Corinne or Dawn?
The finale show.
Okay.
For Caramoan. And I remember it was a crazy time because, at least for Dawn, because she was getting a lot of hate mail because it was the episode, I think, after Brenda was voted out, after Brenda got her teeth from the bottom of a lake, which was really embarrassing for Dawn. So Dawn was getting all kinds of stuff. So she was just hiding in her hotel room the whole time. It was really bad. There was quite the backlash. And Corinne was just fine. Like, she was just going. Her and Malcolm were like thick as thieves, and they were just going around all the bars and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So Marlene Bottoms, another great name. She has a similar question. When was the last time you spoke to Natalie? Queen Natalie, she says.
I'm trying to think. Long time. Probably at a charity event. Probably the charity event in Houston.
Okay.
Probably Jolanda's charity event in Houston, which is, I don't even know how long ago, like 2010 maybe?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Just a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, wherever she is, I think she's on Twitter too. She may have commented on Twitter on some stuff. I know she's still out there kind of floating around, but yeah, not in a while.
Yeah. All right, so Mitch wants to know who was the biggest diva around your camp, and if it's somebody different, who was the most annoying?
Probably Philip Shepard. Probably Philip.
All right.
He probably doesn't want me to tell, or anybody tell this, but I think he kind of plays a role like the specialist. Like, that's his thing that he does. Like, he annoys people as a strategy. Because I've been at a few charity events with him too. And he's pretty down to earth. He's a pretty cool guy, but if you're a Survivor fan and you meet him, be prepared for the experience, the specialist experience.
Nice. All right. So Loretta says, has anyone noticed how lately, for the past few seasons, women are dominating immunity challenges? Last season tied the record for the most women winning individual immunity. So she wants to know, her question is, who is your all-time favorite female immunity challenge player?
So I'm trying to think. There was a girl who won like a ton in a row. I'm trying to remember her name. It was a few seasons ago. I cannot remember it now. She was just like dominating them. I want to say it was San Juan del Sur.
That's way more than a few seasons ago.
Okay.
Oh man, you're testing my memory.
You know, I go all the way back to One World's Kim Sprawlin.
Okay.
She was pretty amazing on her season. Here, just a second, my dog has eaten his own tail.
Oh no. Well,
what are you doing?
Well, for me, I like Jane. You remember everybody picked on her because she was an older woman, and then she destroyed it in immunity challenges. So I really like Jane.
I just to speak to that idea, though, I do like that I feel like there's a little bit of a more balance taking place with challenges where there are like women, like strong challenges that everybody, like they're not simply like masculine powers, like win the day kind of challenges. Like there's some pretty even balance puzzle challenge type things. Yeah.
I've gone on the days of holding buckets of water over your shoulder and
right.
Yeah. So, Granny Survivor. This is our last questions here. She says, "Hello, dears. Another big week of Survivor. The famous stick got played, and now she wonders if the Erik curse will be undone also." So her she has a couple of questions here, a few questions. What was the number one? Is what was the strangest fan interaction you ever had?
Well, okay, I've had a couple.
You me both.
So way back after Micronesia was on TV and I gave up immunity, I was in a parade in my hometown of Pinckney, and a fan came up to me and said, "Oh, you were that kid who gave up immunity." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "God should have slapped you."
Whoa.
That's like, I mean, wasn't it bad enough I gave up immunity? Like, wasn't that enough of a slap from God? But I didn't say anything. I was just like, I guess he should have. Yeah. Really bizarre.
Yeah, you know, just ignore all the other more important things going on in the world. God should just focus on who's doing what on Survivor.
You know, there's another interaction. My wife and I were at a restaurant, and somebody apparently in the restaurant recognized me as Erik of Survivor. And the waiter came over and asked me that and said, like, somebody here wants to know if you're, from the TV show Survivor. And I was like, yeah. Like, who is this person? And we didn't really know. Like, they said they don't want to say. Like, we didn't know. So someone in the restaurant knew enough to ask the waiter that I was on Survivor. So then, as a table of older women are leaving, one of them comes over and pulls my wife out of her chair to take a photo next to me, which was very bizarre.
Wow.
They just pulled her out of her chair like, this is fine. Let's just do this.
Holy smokes. Yeah, some aggressive fans.
Yeah.
Right.
That was pretty weird.
Second question Granny Survivor has is, how did you feel learning that Natalie Bolton won the second chance poll on Twitter? Or did you know about that?
I didn't know about that, but I think she deserves another try anyway. I think she wants to get out from under the cloud of like the Black Widow Brigade kind of thing. I totally would like to see her play again outside of the fans versus favorites like structure. Who did the poll on Twitter? Was it just like informal?
Yeah, it was a fan.
Okay.
So last of our questions here is, what was our first ever interaction, you and I?
Oh my God! It must have been like celebrity dodgeball, like reality TV dodgeball.
Yeah.
Trying to think.
I think it was. It sounds right.
I do remember that I watched some type of movie that you had that had just come out in theaters, that somebody else had like a trial version of the movie or something. Like they had like they were reviewing the movie for a blog or something, and you somehow had this great movie that had like just come out in theaters, but you had it on DVD.
All right, yeah. This goes way back. Wow.
And you're like, somebody has like, I have this movie, and I'm like, I wanted to see that movie in theaters, but I just haven't gone, and it like just came out in theaters. Like, how do you have a DVD? And he's like, oh, I know somebody who's like in the industry who just has it for like a review, and so we just watched a movie.
Yeah, we just hung out and watched I remember
I think it was Star Trek. I think it's one of the new Star Treks.
Yeah, I think it was the J.J. Abrams reboot, 2009 Star Trek. Yeah, and it was literally I think it was the weekend of the release or something like that. And I have a friend or I had a friend. I'm out of touch with a friend now, but was in the industry and does one of those, does the review of the movies, and then gives them
before they come out. Yeah,
gives a thumbs up, thumbs down, and all that stuff.
That's in my mind. I was like, how does he know it? Like, that's pretty cool. He knows somebody with like a ahead of time movie like that. That's
movie critic. An old friend. Yeah, haven't seen her in a while. All right, so we got this game that we play, Survivor Trivia, 5 questions. All of them true or false.
Okay.
Right now, the leader at 4-1, 4 questions right, 1 question wrong, is Matt Bischoff. Then we have a couple of people at 3-2. that are tied for second place, and a couple people at 2 and 3. Brian and Sharia are tied at 2 and 3. Figgy and did I say that right? Brian and Sharia. I think it's Brian. It's Figgy and Brian that are tied at 2 and 3. Sharia and Tanya are 2 and 3. 3 and 2.
Okay.
I'm saying it all wrong. Boy, fans are gonna be like, "Hey, you jerk, can't get it right."
Close enough.
Yeah, Figgy and Brian are 3 and 2. Sharia at 2 and 3 with on Tanya, and then Ben Watersworth, the executive producer here, he's protesting because he didn't like the results of what he got.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. So here you go. All of these are true and false questions.
Okay.
Number 1, the main reason for Joel to be voted out of the first season of Survivor was for his bossiness. This is Borneo we're talking about.
Yeah. Borneo. God. I'm going to say true, just because early on in history of I don't remember clearly what happened, because I was 14 at the time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm going to say bossiness just because people didn't get voted out for alliance purposes that early.
Right,
so I'm
right.
going to say true.
All right. Unfortunately, it's false. It was because he made chauvinistic remarks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. But you were right about it not being alliance stuff.
Is that Joel Klug?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right. So, all right, you're 0-1, but you can come back.
Fall downhill from here, Billy.
Number 2, popcorn was an item for the first ever Survivor auction in the second season in Australia. This is a tough one.
I'm going to say popcorn. I mean, that's so specific. I'm going to say false.
All right, you got that right. It was not.
Right.
So you're 1 and 1. There you go. You're doing good. You're doing good.
Good enough.
All right, question number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Pascal's luxury item was an American flag on Marquesas. This was the season with Boston Rob's first season.
I'm going to say false.
False. Unfortunately, it was true. So you're 1 and 2. You're 1 and 2. All right.
I knew Kobe had a flag. I think Kobe had a Texas flag.
Yes. That's probably what you were thinking.
That's what I was thinking. Confusing questions, Billy.
Yes, they are. Okay. 2 more questions left. The general called Nelly and Vesepia liars and two-faced on Marquesas.
General?
Yeah, the general.
Yeah. Two-faced. I mean, that sounds like something that I would say true.
Oh, man, it's false. It was Tammy who actually did that, yeah.
These things sound almost true. I'm trying to go for 1 and 0. 1 and 4.
1 and 4. All right, well, this is the last question here.
All right.
Kelly Goldsmith from Africa was the first female to celebrate her birthday during the game.
Kelly who? What is her last name?
Kelly Goldsmith on the season of Africa, 3rd season, was the first female to celebrate her birthday during the game. True or false?
3rd season. 1st season. I'm going to say false, because maybe somebody in the 2nd season had a birthday.
Well, you're right about it being false. So you're 2
first,
and 3. So it was Vesepia all the way in Marquesas who was the first female. So yeah.
Okay.
So but hey, 2 and 3, you and yeah, Sharia and Tanya, you're all together there. That's not a bad bunch.
I would like. My request is multiple choice in the future, like 4 options.
4?
That actually might make it harder. So never mind.
All right. Fair enough. And we'd like to thank Granny Survivor for supplying those questions, and as she always does. So thank you so much, Erik, for joining us this week. And I really appreciate it. I love hanging out with you. Unfortunately, I won't be in Orlando this year.
Okay.
I'm only doing 1 event.
Okay. That's fine.
I'm going to miss you like crazy, but we definitely got to get together in the near future.
Yeah, and figure out who does those videos before they hit theaters. Figure out who that is again.
All right, yeah, I gotta make friends with another movie critic.
Yeah. Thanks, Billy. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And thanks to all of you who are listening and watching for tuning in to the Survivor Ghost Island recap.
Sorry if I missed that.
Thank you for listening to the Oz Network. Don't forget to subscribe to get new episodes delivered to your speakers every week. For more information, hit us up at theoznetwork.net.